Okay, today the topic is amortization. Now, what is amortization? It is an interest-bearing debt is amortized if both principal and interest are repaid by a series of equal payments and made at equal intervals of time. Time period set to repay the loan is called the amortization period. The basic problem in amortizing a debt is finding the size of the periodic payments. Okay, so that is what we will do at the beginning, and then we will construct what is called an amortization schedule or a table of values to show what happens when payments are made on a loan. So let us go here and start. Now, the amortization schedule, we will start by looking at this question right here. You've taken out a loan of $10,000. That is the present value for 4 years with an interest rate of 7%. That means IY is equal to 7, and it's compounded annually, so CY is equal to 1. The loan will be repaid by end of year payments, so PY is equal to 1. Fill in all the boxes below and round all entries to the nearest cent. Enter only positive values for all answers. Okay, we will come to the boxes in a short while, but let us continue with the question. So here is what the schedule will look like. This is just a part of it. Remember, there will be 4 payments. It's end of year payments, and the loan is for 4 years, so there will be 4 payments. And this is what it will look like when the payments are being made. This is the principal, the outstanding balance at the beginning, $10,000. And after the first payment of $2,952.28, which we will calculate shortly, the amount that is owing is $7,747.72. All right, so we need to go to the calculator. Let's enter these values here, present value, IY, CY, and PY. And we know that we do calculations and we come up with the payment. All right, so we can go now and have a look. This is what happens. This is a complete table. All right, so there we are. All the numbers are filled in, the 4 payments, and then there is a total also being calculated. All right, so let's start. We know that we usually fill in PY, CY, then we compute N, we fill in IY, that is given. We fill in the present value, and the future value will be 0 because the loan has to be repaid completely. All right, so this diagram here gives us the numbers to put in. Let's make it larger and move it over. And let's use the calculator, and we should come up with this number here for the payment. So we do as we normally do. We enter the value for PY, it's 1, or we go 1 and enter. And then we enter the value for CY, which is also 1, or we can also enter that value. And then we can exit, or we can check first to see that PY is 1 and CY is also 1. And we can quit, or we can use this key right down here to come out. But this time we'll use the second CPT and quit, and we're out of there. So now we need to get at N. And previously you saw that it was for 4 years. So 4 second N, and N is 4. IY is 7. So 7 IY. Present value is $10,000, which was the amount of the loan. And the future value will be 0 because by making payments, the loan should be repaid or paid off the $10,000 with interest, of course. And now we compute the payment, and the payment turns out to be $2,952.28, which is what we see right here. Okay, so that is the payment. Those are the payments that have to be made to repay the loan of $10,000 at an interest rate of 7%. All right, so next we go to there we have the payment. All right, it's on the calculator. We see it right there. And then we are doing the amortization schedule. And so to get into the schedule, we need to use these two keys, second PV, and above PV, you can see the word amort, A-M-O-R-T, which is an abbreviation for amortization. So we go second PV, and there we are. Now we have to enter values for the P1. P1, it's the first payment, so 1 goes in there for P1. And then for P2, we also enter 1. All right, that is how we get the amount for the principal repaid and the interest for payment number 1. And then we go, there is the balance. The balance shows up and it is $7,747.72 after the first payment. All right, now the amount of principal repaid is that amount that is showing there, $2,252.28. And the amount of interest is, if we come down here, is $700. All right, now, how are we getting this balance? Now, let's have a look. Remember, the starting amount of the loan was $10,000. If we come out of here and we go back and we recall the present value, it's what we started with, $10,000. Okay, so let's look over here now. How do we get the balance? Well, we subtract the amount that was paid on the principal by making that first payment. All right, the first payment of $2,952.28, $2,252.28 was the principal, and $700 was for the interest. Okay, so now if we come here and we subtract the amount paid on the principal from the principal or the present value or the amount of money that was borrowed, we will come up with this number right here. Okay, we could demonstrate it. There is a $10,000. And if we subtract this amount right here, 2252.28, we will get $7,747.72. All right. Now, what about this payment? That payment is made, part of that payment is to paying on the principal, and part of it is on the interest. All right, so that payment is split between those two. There is interest. Why? Because there's an interest rate of 7%. So if we were to take these two numbers and add them together, we should get the amount of the payment. So let's take these two numbers, 2,252, 2252.28, and we add $700, 700, we come up with this number right up here, 2,952.28. All right, so that is what happened when the first payment was made. The $10,000 here was reduced by the amount paid on the principal, and that gives the balance for the next payment, or how much is owing. And the payment, this amount was paid on the principal, and this amount was for interest. All right. Okay. So there we are. So P1 was 1, P2 was 1, right? Let's just recap. P1 is equal to 1, P2 is 1, and then it comes up with the balance. There's the balance. And there it is on the table or the schedule, right? There is the principal, and that is the principal repaid. Sorry, the principal, the amount repaid on the principal of $10,000. And there is the amount of the interest that was paid. All right, so there we are. That's the starting balance or the principal. And then this is the payment. And then this amount was paid on this $10,000. So that's why if we subtract this amount from the $10,000, we get $7,747.72. And this $700 is the interest. So if we add the $700 to the amount paid on the or repaid on the principal of $2,252.28, we add these two, we get this number here, which is the number that was computed for the payment, $2,952.28. All right, let's move on now. We go back to the schedule, so we finish that first payment. So let's go to payment number 2 and see what happens. All right, so for payment number 2, there we are. It's payment number 2. P1 would be 2. All right, so let's go back in here. Second PV, now P1 is 2, and we click on 2 and we click enter. We come over here and P2 is 2. All right, so we go down and P2, we enter the value of 2 for there. And then the balance is this amount here, 5337.78, which shows up on the table right over here. Remember, this is payment number 2. I've taken out payment number 1. That is why you're just seeing a part of the table. Not, you didn't, number 1 is not there, but it's in the full schedule of payments. All right, so now we come down, we go down, and there is the amount repaid on the principal. And there we are, and that number is right here, $2,409.94. And then the amount of interest paid is $542.34, right? Which if we come down here, and there we are, and we have finished payment number 2. So now we will go to payment number 3. All right, so let's move on. We go back to the full schedule. So we finished payment number 1 and payment number 2. Now we are going to payment number 3. Okay, so now we go, and here is the schedule for payment number 3. That's the row for payment number 3. And if we go here, P1 should be 3. So we click on 3 and we enter P1. And then we come to get P2, and there is P2 will be 3 also. So we go 3, enter. And then now we should get the balance. And let us see what the balance is. $2,759.14. All right, and if we come here, that is where it appears on the table or the schedule. All right, the next is when we go down, we get the amount, the principal repaid, or how much is repaid on the principal. All right, so there it is, $2,578.64, and there is where it appears on the schedule. All right, next we get the interest that is being paid. And if we come here, we get it, $373.64. And there we are. That is the entry on the table. So we have gotten to payment number 3. And then we go back. So now we are approaching payment number 4. All right. So here we go. We go back to the full schedule. And now we run this row for payment number 4. All right, so we will go and do that right now. Let's go. So this is row number 4, and hopefully we come out with these set of values. All right, so let's start. P1 is 4 and P2 is also 4. So let's enter the value of 4 for P1, and for P2 we enter the value of 4 also. And then we come down and we get the balance, and the balance shows 0, right? And there it is, 0 over there on the schedule. All right, next we go and we get the principal that's repaid, or the amount repaid on the principal. And if we come here, it's $2,759.14, right? Okay, next is the interest of $193.14. And there it is right there. All right, so we've gone through the 4 payments. And we can go back now and have a look at the schedule. It's right here. They're all there, P1, P2, P3, and P4. Now, the only thing that we have to compute lastly is the total. How much was actually paid, how much interest was paid, how much was the principal should be the amount that was borrowed, and that would give us the total. Now, we've done this before. We would find out how much was paid by taking these payments and each payment multiplying by the number of payments, and we will get the total. All right, now we can use the calculator to give us some of these values, and let's try to do that. All right, so now it's the total, right? So here we go. So P1 should be what? 1 and P1 is 4. Note that these two are different. So P1 is 1 and P2 is 4. It means it gives the total from payment number 1 to payment number 4. So P1, let's put in 1 for P1, enter. And for P2, it is 4 already from the previous payment. Or if we wish, we could enter it again. All right. And then we go to the balance, and the balance is 0, right? Because the loan is paid off. Okay, now next is the principal. And the principal is the $10,000 that was borrowed. So that is also repaid. And the next value is, of course, the interest that was paid. And the interest that was paid is $1,809.12. And there it is right there. So we have completed the amortization schedule. All right, and we can have a look at the complete schedule is right here. This is the complete schedule, right? So there we are, and that is what was done. So each payment reduces the balance or the principal by the amount that was repaid on the principal. Okay, so that's why this balance keeps getting smaller and eventually gets paid off completely. Now, you should note that this last payment must clear the outstanding balance. All right, so that is why these two numbers are the same. And of course, this number has to be 0. That was the future value that we had put in. Remember, when we're doing these calculations, we put in the future value as 0. And then we have the payment. It's right there. There are 4 equal payments, correct? We do have an interest rate of 7%, and that is why interest is being paid. Okay, so that is how amortization works, and that's an example. Now let us go to the questions in the quiz, and we will take up question number 1. All right, this question is, let's make it a bit larger. You've taken out a loan of $19,000 for 4 years with an interest rate of 5% compounded annually. Right? The loan will be repaid by end of year payments, so that is once per year. Fill in all the boxes below and round all entries to the nearest cent. Enter only positive values for all answers. So what is the annual payment? Okay, let us start. That's clear, and let us begin. So PY is what we need to enter, and PY, it's repaid by end of year payments. So it means once per year. So PY is 1. Enter it there. And the interest rate is compounded annually. So it means CY is 1, or we can always enter the value. So PY is 1 and CY is also 1. And we can come out of there by just clicking second CPT. Now what else? This loan is for 4 years. All right. So 4 second N, and N is 4. The interest rate is 5%. So 5 IY. The present value, well, the loan is $19,000. So 19,19000, and that is the present value. Now the future value is 0, right? Because this loan has to be paid off, and then we compute the payment. And the payment here should be 5358.22. Notice it's a positive value, so please be careful. Do not put a negative value in there. Only positive values for all answers. Okay, so we don't have the boxes anymore, PYCY. It's just one box for us to calculate the payment, and that payment hopefully is correct. Now this payment here, we could copy, we could paste it in here. And these are same as above, and this one should be the same as above too. All right, because it's 4 equal payments. We know there are 4 payments. All right, good. So this is the starting value. And now we will fill in the amortization table. All right, so we go to, what do we do? Well, we go to second PV, and that takes us into the amortization schedule. Now, payment number is number 1. All right, there it is, right there. Sorry, it is this number 1 right here. So P1 is 1, or we can enter the value 1 and enter. And P2 should also be 1. So we'll enter 1 for P2. Now here's the balance. The balance is $14,591.78. That's the number that goes in here, the outstanding balance. The principal repaid is $4,408.22. That's the number that goes in there. And the interest is $950, 950.00. Okay, so that is payment number 1. Now we go to payment number 2. And here we are. So P1 is 2. And P2 is also 2. All right, what is the balance now? Well, the balance now is $9,963.15. The principal repaid $4,628.63. And the interest is $729.59. Right? That is payment number 2. So let's go around again, and then we're going to go to payment number 3. Right? So P1 is 3, and P2 is also 3. The balance is now $5,103.09. The amount repaid on the principal is $4,860.06. And the amount of interest that was paid in that payment number 3 is $498.16. So now we come to payment number 4 right here. There we go, 4, and we enter. And we go down. P2 will also be 4, and we enter that. And the balance we see 2 cents. Now that can happen because of rounding. All right, these numbers are rounded, so that is why that is happening. All right, but don't be scared. There's nothing to worry about. $5,103.07. That is why these two numbers differ by 2 cents. Okay, all right. So the interest is 255.15. There we are. And those are the numbers. All right, so now we need the total. And how do we get the total? Well, we put P1 as 1 and P2 as 4, right? We're doing 1, 2, 4. P1 is 1, P2 is 4. And we get the balance, so we will have a 0.02, which is what is showing there. Now, the principal repaid, as you can see, is $18,999.98. This number is 2 cents off of this balance here, right? That is why that is happening. The interest is $2,432.90. And this amount here should be what? Well, it should be this number times 4, right? Okay, so if we come back out of there, we can just click on clear twice. If we recall the payment, we make it positive, and then we multiply that by 4. All right, we get $21,432.90. Okay, now let's look at that number here. The total amount paid should be the interest plus the principal that was repaid. Right? So let's add these two numbers and see what happens. All right, let's add this number plus this number here and see what happens. So we get, let's take this one first. 2432, 2432.90 plus this number here, 18999.98. And that gives us $21,432.88. So this number here is actually correct because that would take care of this 2 cents right there. All right, but those discrepancies come up. Anyway, let's see if we submit the question, if all is well and all is well. Okay, so that's that bit of a balance there is allowed. And that is it for now. So you've seen how to construct an amortization schedule. Now this is an example of where there are equal payments. All the payments are the same. And that is what the schedule will look like. And there we are. That is it for now.